It's the middle of winter here in Melbourne. A lot of people aren't riding their track bikes or even their motorbikes for that matter.
On the road.
On the road. If the bike's been sitting there for a few months or a few weeks, what's the best thing to do? Just to keep your bike, I guess, your fuel system, you know, your fuel not going stale, your battery not going flat. What do you advise for these type of situations?
Well, the best thing is to run it.
Yep.
Like, so motorbikes don't like sitting dormant for too long. Mm-hmm. We actually get quite a lot of bikes in that need a fuel system service.
Yeah.
So particularly like 98 RON fuel and more modern fuels, they don't have as many additives and they go off. So the general rule of thumb is that if you've got like 98 in your tank and you're going to leave it beyond 3 months, you're starting to potentially introduce some stuff.
Okay.
6 months, anything older than 6 months, you need to be sucking the fuel out.
Even, you know, people get those fuel additives or the ones from the server that sort of you can
get fuel
good or not?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And there are fuels that are designed to be able to sit and not go off.
Yep.
So if you do your research and use those type of fuels, that's a lot better. Especially, but they still need to be the right octane rating for your bike.
Yep.
But they're not going to fix your battery. They're not going to deal with things like your, injectors. And the thing about injectors, if they ever get bad fuel, then they're going to need injector clean.
And I guess also the
Damage
fuel
seal.
filter, everything, fuel pumps.
Fuel pump, fuel filter.
Yep.
Fuel is quite corrosive. It can be quite corrosive, especially when it oxidizes. So as the word may suggest, the most harmful things to fuel is oxygen. So if you were to have a fuel container and leave the lid off it all the time, the more oxygen it sees, the quicker it's going to go off. And once it gets too oxidized, it's going to do things like corrode and damage your fuel pump, all the seals in there, your filter, and even start corroding the fuel tank. Now the problem once it starts corroding the fuel tank is you've got corrosion, you know, little bits of flake and a little bit of rust and stuff come off, they go into your fuel, and then that goes through your fuel filter, start clogging that up. It's going to go into your injectors, it's going to start clogging that up. Your injectors are designed to see fuel, and they're designed to see fresh, non-oxidized fuel. And that's the best thing for them. Keeps them opening, firing, all that sort of stuff. If you leave stuff sitting dormant, you know, at the end of the day, there's solenoid valves and stuff, they're opening and shutting. If they're not operating, they can eventually, and they're not seeing anything, they can get stuck. You're a stuck injector because it's not actually getting operated. So you want to operate it if you can. You know, if you know you're going to leave it sitting, suck all the fuel out of it. Battery, you should be disconnecting it. Disconnect it from the negative lead first. And then obviously if you can, you know, put on a trickle charger. So that if you've got a weak spark, it doesn't take a lot to foul a plug.
Okay,
Yeah? So if the battery's weak, you get a weak spark, right? And then it's not quite starting and you're adding fuel, that plug gets fouled, then she's not starting. Fouled plugs, right?
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that you've got a good battery, and if it's been sitting for too long, for the sake of it, don't even bother with an old battery, just put a new battery in it. Don't even waste your time. But the very best thing for any vehicle is to start it occasionally. Make sure that, again, that the battery's strong, that it's been on a trickle charger. Lithium batteries these days are amazing how quick they bounce back, so that you're avoiding the situation where the battery's weak, spark's weak, it's going to foul them. And the other thing too about starting the bike, it's good for the engine, good for the oil, it's good for the fuel because you're using it. And you only need, like, say, have 4 litres in it. Right? And then if you're starting it every now and then, you're going to need to top it up. And even if you've got a litre of older fuel and then you put 3 litres of new fuel, it's all going to be
just
relatively
a bit.
So,
and in terms of like starting it for how long? Just get it up to temperature, let it run for a few minutes, or what's the best practice?
If you're doing it, say you're doing a day in the garage, start it, let it run up to temperature, leave it for an hour, start it again. The best thing for anything is to ride it. That's what they're for. If you're going to leave it sitting for a long time, you need to do that. You need to get the fuel out of it. It's not good for them. Get the battery out of it, and if it's been sitting for a couple of years, just shout at a new battery. Like I said, if it worst case scenario, like if you can do it minimum every 2 months, that's okay. Every 4 weeks would be great. Your oil filter and stuff, if it's been sitting for a long time, this potentially going to have very little oil in it. And then you'd actually need to prime your oil pump, depending on the bike. You've got to almost, if it's been sitting, you know, for 12 months, you almost got to do a bit of a service on it, maybe shout it some oil, a new filter, make sure the oil system's primed,
Yep.
so that it hasn't got any air locks in it and stuff like that. That your oil filter's good, and keep an eye if it hasn't been started for a while. Keep an eye on things like your oil pressure light and stuff like that, and stop it immediately, because even if it's been sitting, you can lose oil in the system, and then it doesn't prime itself properly. So
Okay.
the best thing for them is to start them.
Cool. All right, so that's it. Yeah, storing your bike short term, a couple of months over the winter, start it up.
Run them. That's
Yep.
best thing for them. Don't neglect these beautiful things.